What's up guys, Doug Polk here, and today we're going on a little journey around the world. Now before we get underway, I want to get one thing very clear here. These are my personal generalized reads about people from different regions. That does not mean if you're from one of these countries then you're automatically bad, or if you're from one of these countries then you automatically play like that, or I'm gonna make fun of people from different countries for how they play. Actually, I'm going to be doing the third thing. And one last note here, almost everybody sucks at poker. So yes, that means that your country probably does too. All right, where are we gonna start here? I'm thinking Europe. Now the United Kingdom's an interesting place. You got a lot of different styles from people there, but they all involve drinking. Now my read on people from the UK were that they played conservative and were kind of nits, but Jungle had a different read.
I don't know anything about these damn Brits.
Well, there's a country called England, and they came here, and we
From
came
Newcastle.
There it is.
He doesn't have it. I think he doesn't have it.
I don't have it.
Nice call by Berkey. $95,000 pot Matt's way. $50,000 goes Matt's way. Almost. Feldman, can you be quiet at the table? Can you be quiet? The table's talking, Feldman.
Oh,
We got world-class players in there, Feldman. Please. You've been over-talking them so much. I just had enough. I'm fed up. I can't handle you talking over the players anymore. I've been seeing the chat say this for the last 5 hours. I know that means I need you to say.
So Jungle had the stone opposite read of me, and admittingly, in that hand, the guy was running a sick bluff. But we can't just use one hand as our sample size, right?
Oh, he shoves on Erlandson. There was 420,000 in the pot, so this is an overbet.
Oh, he's setting him in. He's going big. Wow. He's gone big. He's just said, there you go.
He found the bet! He found the bet!
Well, she sets her tee down. She is going to 4-bet with 7-4 offsuit.
Okay, so maybe UK players play crazy, but I'm actually half British. My mom's not even an American citizen, and I don't play too... Oh, fuck, Jungle was right. Players from Norway are just too aggressive. Players from Finland are also too aggressive, but players from Sweden are way too aggressive, and players from Denmark, pretty well balanced. Gus, you know, I've made fun of you in a few videos before, but I thought maybe it would be cool if we got to hang out sometime. Maybe do something we both like poker. I guess word in the street is for all of the players from Northern Europe, they're idiots.
Idiot from Northern Europe.
Idiot from Northern Europe, Phil.
Call the race with 5-7.
Moving on, this brings us to Russia. Now, Russia's a bit different. I would say Russians are also a little bit too aggressive, but not in that Scandi way. The Scandis are pure, unfiltered aggression. Aggression just to be aggressive. So aggressive, they don't know if they're being aggressive or if you're being conservatively aggressive because of how aggressive they're being. That doesn't even make sense. No, the Russian aggression is different. It's a little sneakier. It's a little spazzier. You have a moment where you just have to go for it. Although I do have to say Russians that aren't named Scout326 can be pretty good players. There are a lot of really great Russian players out there. I just feel like sometimes they just have to make a move.
Сбербанк нам этого не позволил сделать, так что играем на 500.
Запрос утвержден. Похуй, я вин. Я вин.
If you're trying to find a good poker game, find one where you can play with Stan. All of them. I want to give a quick shout out to Belarus, a bunch of good online players from Belarus. However, I don't really know many other players from the area, so no reads, but definitely some good players there as well. Now, I have a great read on the Germans, and I can feel money slipping away from my wallet as I tell you this, but I want you guys to be prepared. The Germans do not like getting bluffed, ever. Doesn't even matter where. They're not letting go on the flop. They're not letting go on the turn. They're not letting go on the river. And they're definitely not letting go of continental Europe during a world war. Gotta give the Germans a little credit where credit is due though. If they're in a tournament and you're in the tournament, you both know why they're there. The Netherlands. The perfect blend of aggression and style. So close to GTO it can't be differentiated from GTO itself. Their players are so good, they've reached the absolute pinnacle of the game. And I'm of course talking about... Oh, fuck. OTB's from Belgium? So yeah, those things, but about Belgium instead of Netherlands. Which makes sense because, you know, we do have Fried Mulders in the Upswing Lab. Now, the Swiss must be good at poker because when your money goes there, no one ever hears about it again. And we all know what France is known for when it comes to poker. High rake. Our next series of countries we're going to talk about as one because they're very similar. I'm talking about Portugal, I'm talking about Spain, I'm talking about Italy, I'm talking about Greece. And look, I know that those countries are all different countries, but they share one thing in common. Any country where it's nice to go to the beach all year is not good at poker. But I'm not just talking about the Mediterranean. Any country in the world with good weather all year round is not a good country at poker. I'm talking to you, Fiji. Name me one good Fiji poker player. Exactly. There are none. Players from India, crazy. Players from China, crazy. Players from Korea, crazy. Players from America, surprisingly well-rounded. Like, size wise. Let's talk about America because there are more of us playing poker than any other country in the world. We have a signature style. It's like apple pie. It's like the red, white, and blue. We play tight and nitty. It's actually not entirely true. Sometimes we play loose and nitty. Here's a question for you guys. Have any of you played in a tournament series in Las Vegas and then gone and played in a tournament series in Europe? It is night and day different. America, old man with his coffee, reading the newspaper and waiting to flop a set on someone. Europe, Scandinavian dude up all night mainly playing PLO and is now playing No Limit because it's the only game left. A 4-bet in America means someone has aces. A 4-bet in Europe means that somebody else 3-bet. I want to talk about America's hat for a moment. There's actually a lot of surprisingly good players in Canada, although there are also a good chunk of really spewy ones. Overall, I would say Canada is the slightly less bad version of the US, but still a little bit too tight and nitty. Now here's the thing about poker in Mexico. They've got a lot of nice beaches. Now Brazil is a very beautiful country with a lot of amazing people. But when it comes to poker, you want to be at their table. Now, there are, of course, good Brazilian poker players as well. Some of the more well-known ones being Andre Acari or Felipe Ramos. So there are certainly some good players out there. I'm not saying that there are not. But if there are a bunch of Brazilians in the game, you might want to find your way over. Now that we're moving into the southern hemisphere, Australians love to gamble. I have to assume it's because in Australia, you're born gambling just by living there. I've actually been to Australia a couple of times. This is a photo I took while I was there. When it comes to Africa, there really aren't too many people that play poker. And it's not like they're gonna suddenly start gambiaing. That was pretty bad. Before we call it a video, I do want to say this. There are many amazing poker players all around the world. Now, not many people are good at poker, so some countries, especially smaller ones, might not have any big name pros, but that's not because that country is bad at poker. It's just because they didn't have someone that rose to the top. Countries with a lot of people are more likely to have people become famous. America has a ton of players, and that's one of the reasons why so many people at the top are American. That doesn't mean Americans are better than other people at poker. It doesn't really say much at all. We're looking at the upper echelon there compared to the entire body of players. So I guess what I'm saying here is that no matter what country you're from, you can find a way to play great poker, and everyone is equal when you hit the felt. Except members of upswingpoker.com. Those guys have an edge. Thanks for stopping by for today's video. I've been streaming a lot of days at 6 a.m., so stop by then, see if it's going down. I'll see you guys soon, and remember, hit that subscribe button.